Hi everyone, I'm True Soul, and welcome back to another Star Wars Black Series Collection update video. So yeah guys, I've actually been looking forward to doing this in particular update video for a while now. I have some figures here that I've been waiting to get in my collection for the longest time, some more than others, but let's just go ahead and get straight into it. Now, as usual, I'm gonna do kind of a quick overview of all these figures, and then we're gonna transfer them over to the shelf and see how they look. So today we have the Rogue One BAZE, we have Fennic Shan, and Tython Boba Fett from the Mandalorian and Boba Fett series. I have the, what I think this is anniversary Qui Gon Jinn, but I cannot remember which one it is. And I have the exclusive Wampa action figure that I think is from one of the cons, but I can't remember which one. So let's go ahead, and enough rambling, let's go ahead and start off with BAZE, since he was one of the first ones that I got. Now, I really do like this BAZE, and I have been trying to finish up the Rogue One team, at least the ones that I care about. And even though I like the look of this BAZE, one thing I will tell you guys right now is he is very annoying to pose. And what I mean by that is this pose that I have him in right now, if I try to put him in any other pose or in any other position, he will fall over. I cannot make this action figure stay up to save my life. Like the way I have the slight bend on the legs and kind of have him hunched over a bit with the gun and all that. If I were to change his position right now, he would fall over, which is very annoying. And you guys maybe comment down below if you guys have had that problem with this BAZE. I think now this action figure takes the cake for the hardest action figure for me to stand up. I've had an easier time, oddly enough, I've had an easier time making my B1 battle droid stand up, and that thing is like a toothpick, so it falls over all the time. But other than that, I do like the look of this BAZE. His gun is relatively easy to fit in his hand, although sometimes the little chain thing that connects his gun to his, I guess, energy pack on his back sometimes pops out. But with the position that I have him in, that shouldn't really be too much of a problem. But yeah, I think now that I have BAZE, I pretty much have all the Rogue One characters that I care about for the most part. So really glad to be finally adding him to my New Hope / Rebels shelf. But enough about BAZE, let's go ahead and move on to some of the newer action figures. One of my favorite that they came out with, the Fennic Shan. I know myself and a lot of other collectors were really excited when they were making this Fennic Shan, because it's a kind of an all-new character. I know a lot of collectors be getting mad because they be, re-releasing characters 1,000 times, because we have almost an army of Obi-Wans, we have an army of Boba Fetts at this point, and it was just nice to get an all-new character that has never been made in the Black Series before. Now, I think they knocked this face sculpt out of the park. Hasbro's face, I don't even know exactly the word for it anymore, because it's been so long since I've said it, but whatever it is they used to make the faces, I think they did a pretty good job. And I just really dig like Fennic Shan's outfit and everything. Really like the black and the subtle orange in there. I also really like how easy it is for you to pop on and off her helmet like so. I know a lot of the action figures that come with like removable helmets, I feel like for the most part it's kind of like hit and miss. Sometimes they're easy to put on, sometimes they're not. But Fennic Shan's helmet fits on there pretty well, and you can adjust as needed, so that's also really good too. Also, I really like her gun slash sniper rifle that she has here. The little strap that they have is kind of a harder plastic piece, and you can fit that on her back if you want. I can't remember how it's actually supposed to go on there, but now it does snap off. There's like a little peg hole right here, but you can pop that back in there like so. Ta-da! Now, since Fennic Jinn is a newer action figure, I thought I'd like to go over her articulation really quick, so let's go ahead and do that now. Of course, you got the 360 ball joint in the head, and like a couple of other Star Wars Black Series action figures, I believe that her head joint and the neck piece are two separate pieces, so you get a little bit more articulation in there. And since her hair is in this ponytail right here, it does not hinder head articulation, so you get a decent amount of articulation out of that. Also seem to have a ball joint in the torso. Oh, for a minute there I thought the lower part was separate, but I don't believe it is, because I can't move this bottom part right here. Has a hinge in the upper arm and single joint, well, that's a pretty good bend on there, so I really like that. Also has a hinge in the wrists. The leg joints seem pretty good. I know, like with my Padme action figure, if you try to sit her down, her legs kind of like spread out like this, but that's not the case with this Fennic Jinn, so I'm really glad about that. Also has hinge in the upper thigh, single jointed leg, and there's a pretty decent bend on that, and of course good old ankle pivot. So overall, really happy with this Fennic Jinn. As of right now, she's pretty much my favorite one that I got out of these figures. But let's go ahead and move on to my next figure, which is the Tython Boba Fett. I really had to look up what version of Boba Fett this was before I did this video. I could not remember that it was Tython. But this is the Boba Fett pretty much that made an appearance in The Mandalorian when Boba Fett made his triumphant return for the first time since the last time we saw him. And I actually haven't taken off the robe since I got the figure, because not that I think that the underpart looks weird, which I'll probably take this off and show you guys real quick. Actually guys, with the way this robe is, I kinda worried I might rip it trying to take it off. And I was going to display Boba Fett like this anyway, so I think I'm going to just leave it on here. Oh, I forgot all about this extra gun holster he has. The robe was covering it. But I actually had got this Boba Fett before they announced the Book of Boba Fett action figure that they were supposed to be making. I really just wanted a representation of Boba Fett on my Mandalorian shelf, and now I have it. I'm actually still not sure if I'm going to get the other Boba Fett that they made. But I do also like the face sculpt, kind of an older Boba Fett look. You can notice there's like he's kind of dusty and scarred up. You know, Boba Fett's been through quite a lot. But one thing that I find interesting about this figure is, like the Fennic Jinn, I believe his neck piece is also a separate piece from the rest of his body. So get a little bit more head articulation in that because of that. So I think that's really good. I really hope that they start doing that a lot more with action figures when they can. I know there are some action figures, maybe due to their armor or how bulky they are, that they might not be able to do that. But I like the fact that they did that with the Boba Fett and the Fennic Jinn. Now, Boba Fett comes with 2 other accessories, not counting the pistol that's in his holster. This is, I'm not really sure what you call this. It's like some type of staff. Now, this is the staff that he made in the Book of Boba Fett. Spoilers if you still haven't watched that. And this, he also comes with his sniper rifle, which I'll probably mostly be just displaying Boba Fett in kind of more of a neutral pose with you know, the staff in his hand and the gun. And yeah, to be perfectly honest, guys, I really don't have a whole lot to say about this figure. I really just wanted a representation of Boba Fett on my Mandalorian shelf, and that is what this action figure is supposed to be. So let's go ahead and move on to an action figure that I've been meaning to get for a very long time, but I kept putting it off. But now I actually have him, and that is my Qui Gon Jinn. Now this is not the first version of Qui Gon Jinn that came out back when they had like the red packaging. This, I believe, is, if I can remember correctly, I think this is supposed to be the Best Buy exclusive, because I think there was like a he came in like a special anniversary packaging. I opened him up so fast and just got rid of the packaging because I care about my plastic inside the packaging, not the packaging itself, guys. But I really like this one a lot. I think the face sculpt is way better than the Qui-Gon Jinn that they first came out with, which is kind of why I held off on getting the Qui-Gon Jinn at that point. Now, this Qui-Gon Jinn does not come with that fancy Force mind trick hand. My brother actually has that one. But yeah, I really like this action figure a lot. Now the robe you see here did not come with him. I actually took this robe off of, I believe I took it off of my Mace Windu, and I gave it to Qui-Gon just because most of the time when I think of Qui-Gon, I think about him wearing a robe, and I think that this one fits him pretty well, so I'm probably just gonna leave that on there like that. Also, Qui-Gon comes with the little peg hole to hold his lightsaber in, so that's really nice. And also his lightsaber blade, which I'm gonna go ahead and stick in there for you guys. Now, I remember in an older video, I don't even remember which one it was, I had talked about how I kind of wish that Hasbro would go back to, or at least kind of do what they did with the vintage collection, which is give them two lightsabers, one with the blade already in it and one without it. Now, I know a lot of people like the ones where you can just like stick the blade in and take it out, but the thing is, I feel like with some of the action figures, the blades fit in there so tightly, and then when I try to get it out, I end up bending them and they break. So that is a little annoying for me. So even though I was a fan of that at first, now I kind of wish they would just give us a lightsaber that's already ignited, and then one that's not, that I can stick into the peg hole. Now, as usual, the Jedi, at least some of the Jedi, and Qui-Gon is sadly one of those, his articulation, I don't believe is well enough to get him to hold the lightsaber with both hands, and that is a little annoying because I know my Obi-Wans can hold their lightsabers with both hands, but I think that's because like the groove in the arm is a little bit deeper, so they get a little bit more of a bend on there, and I don't really feel like this robe is hindering Qui-Gon too much. But I mostly got Qui-Gon to stand there anyway, so I'm not going to be trying to put him in a bunch of crazy poses anyhow. Just really glad to finally have a Qui-Gon after all this time. Alright guys, and last but not least, a action figure that I've probably been putting off even longer than Qui-Gon, and that is the Wampa. Now, I believe that this Wampa is a special exclusive. I can't remember if it's a San Diego Comic-Con exclusive or what. I got it off of eBay for about, I think like 60 bucks. So not too bad. Some of the prices were like 100 and something, but I was able to get it for cheaper than that. Now, one thing I noticed right off the bat is that this arm, I believe you can pop it off although I can't seem to do it, and I'm worried that I might break it. But I think the concept is you're supposed to be able to pop this off so you can have him like he was in the movie whenever Luke cut his arm off when he was trying to escape the Wampa's cave. But since I really just want a Wampa for my shelf, I'm not gonna keep trying to pop it off. I want a hammer. Alright guys, that arm that's supposed to come off is not coming off, and I don't want to force it. Besides, I'm most likely going to be displaying him like this anyway. For being a really big, bulky figure, he actually has some pretty interesting articulation. He has like two, I'm not sure if there's a ball joint in here. I think there is, because I can get a good range of motion all the way around like this. And I believe we might actually have two ball joints in there. It's very interesting. Of course, single jointed arms. He is a little stiff in some areas, but really just a big bulky figure. And I think they did a pretty good job with the scaling, because the Wampa literally towers over all my other Star Wars action figures. So I'm really looking forward to seeing how he looks on my Empire/Return of the Jedi shelf. Now, one thing is, since this arm is just meant to be like cut off or whatever, the articulation is hindered there, but there are some poses you can get them in and kind of work around that. So really happy about that. Also notice the claws are a little bit pointy, but I think they're just another kind of plastic. I know some of these monster figures that they be making, because I'm not you know, I'm gonna stop myself right there because that's literally just me rambling. But enough rambling, let's go ahead and move all these guys to the shelf and see how they look. Alright guys, I have moved the figures to the shelf, so let's go ahead and do a quick little overview here. Now I added BAZE to my New Hope / Rebel shelf. I got them here with the Rebels and the Rogue One team. Really looking nice. I am planning on kind of switching it up a little bit. I want to get some more of these display stands that you see in the back here to kind of elevate them a little bit better. I'm planning on doing that soon, just not sure when I'm going to get around to it. But let's go ahead and go down here to the Mandalorian shelf real quick, where I've added the Tython, Boba Fett, and the Fennic Shand. Now this shelf is going to be getting a little bit bigger a lot sooner, because I'm supposed to be getting the Death Watch Mandalorian, supposed to be getting the Death Trooper, not the Death Trooper, the Dark Trooper, the Client. So it's gonna be getting a lot bigger very, very soon. And let's go ahead and head on up here to my beloved prequel shelf, where here I have my Obi-Wan. Now he actually took the place of my Commander Gree, which I moved over here to my tippity top of my shelf. This is where I'm gonna be pretty much having all my clones. I'm gonna start slowly phasing out these clones on the shelf, because I'm expecting to get a lot more Jedi soon. So this is really gonna end up being like a prequel Jedi shelf, more so than anything else. But Qui Gon looks pretty good up there, and I'm just really glad to finally have him in my collection. Now let's go ahead and move down here for the final figure. That is the Wampa. I got him here in the back where he belongs, because he's so much bigger than everybody else on the shelf. I really like him a lot. I was actually debating whether or not to order him or the probe droid, which if I do get the probe droid, I'm planning on fitting him in this corner in the back right here, because I hear that the probe droid is pretty big too. So, or a decent size anyway, not huge. But anyway, those are all the figures that I have gotten. And yeah, guys, comment down below if you have any of these figures. What do you think about them? Do you like them? Do you not like them? And be sure to follow me on my Instagram, as you'll stay updated when I plan to upload a video, as well as see exclusive photos that you will not see in my videos. Alright everyone, until then, be sure to like, subscribe, and go to my channel, check out other videos. Catch you later.